So in a few days time, we're going to have a new Insta360 camera that has just been teased. But I'm going to tell you exactly what that camera is, and I'm going to share with you the first ever photos to be seen on the internet. So these latest leaks confirm that in a few days time, the Insta360 Go 3 will be launched, and oh my word, is it very intriguing. So what we can tell from previous videos released is that this new Insta360 Go 3 will in fact be 4K. Now how do I know that? Well, if you look at the original launch video from the Insta360 Go 2, you'll find that all of those videos maxed out at 1440p, and that was the max resolution from the Go 2. But now this latest video, which shows footage from the new Go 3, is at 4K, and that tells me that this new camera is going to be capable of 4K video. Very exciting, as it's still that same small form factor. So from the leaked image, you can tell that there's a flip out screen that flips from the back to face you, so that if you're in selfie mode you can see the screen in front of you, and then you can fold it back and then it will act as if it's a standard action camera. And it's got a hinge at the top, as we can see in the images provided by them themselves, and that's confirmed by this new leaked image. My source also suggests that there's a wider field of view and you're going to be able to reframe around it. So not quite as much as 360 video, but something along the lines of 180 degree, which is a bit bigger than the Go 2's field of view. Now if you look at the actual camera in this leaked image, you can see that it does look quite round, as a lens on a 360 camera would be. And there are clues in the launch video as well, like reframes within the image, like it goes from the girl running away and then pans down to the front of the vehicle that's chasing her. And there's a few occurrences of that throughout that launch video. Now at the end of the video, it also mentions a tiny revolution. Now that could have multiple meanings, which often these things do. It could be that it's a little bit better than the Go 2, so a tiny amount of revolutionary technology that's into it. It could be saying that now we've got 4K with horizon leveling, full 360. But it also does kind of clue us into the fact that this is going to be the Insta360 Go 3, a tiny revolution. And that, again, we know that's the case now from this leaked image I'm bringing you. And I think that's kind of why they wanted the thumb in the videos that they released. So we could see it in those launch videos. Look, this is the size of a thumb, just like the Insta360 Go and Go 2 were before. One of the more intriguing features is that now we're going to have a screen and we're going to be able to potentially see what we're filming whilst the camera is separate from this screen dock piece. Now why do I think that's the case? I think they're giving us the clue by the fact that they're showing in the thumbnail to the YouTube video, as well as in the video when it's got that section where it zooms out of the person doing the slam dunk in basketball and then shows lots of multiple screens. If you film a screen that is connected to the camera you're filming with, you get this sort of effect where it shows multiples of that image and it just goes off into infinity. And it also happens if you've got two mirrors either side of you, say in a lift, and you look to the side and there's reflections from reflection from reflections, and it's going both ways. And so I believe that they're telling us that when we're filming and we're separated, the image that you're recording is going to be displayed on this screen even when you're not connected directly in with the camera. And what tells me this? It's the blue light. The blue light occurs on the Go 2 when the dock is connected to the camera. It's lit blue. So that tells me that, yeah, we're going to be able to connect and potentially see what we're recording. The distance probably isn't going to be that vast, but it's going to be enough to make it worthwhile as a feature. So very excited to see that. In the supplied images as well, we can see that there are ridges on the side of what looks to be a button on the main body of the camera, or the dock as you might call it. Now those things are usually there when you've got a sort of slide mechanism, so not a button that you necessarily push in, but one where you need that bit of friction for when you go up and down it. So it's probably going to be the mechanism to release the screen, so the screen isn't flopping about. You need to release it in order to fold it up. That's my take from that. So in the thumbnail to the YouTube video they made, you can see it clearer than in the actual video. Now the back of the Go 3 when it's out of the dock, it looks to have something at the top in the back. Now initially I thought that might just be a place to put a lanyard. On closer inspection, it could be one of those buttons that are slightly recessed in and an unusual shape so as not to accidentally press them, and it might be something that you can use with your thumb to press the button to start recording that way, which I think is quite good, because otherwise the button being on the front is probably better only if you're doing it in selfie mode, whereas if you want to hold it forwards and then press on the back, that'd be really, really good. But it could also just be where the connectors are in order to connect the camera to the dock. So my source also tells me that while the Insta360 Go 3 is docked, it's going to be a very similar size to most other action cameras such as the GoPro 11, which means it's kind of going to be a rival in a way. There is the shutter button on the top, which is similar to all other action cameras, and there's also two buttons on the side, but you're going to be able to control the camera from the touch screen interface as well. So if we look at the leaked photo, we can also see that on the front of the Go 3, it looks as though it's got the indicator light in the same place. Now that indicator light might also act as the action button, and that was the button you used to operate the shutter if it wasn't connected to the dock. But underneath, there's what looks like potentially a microphone, so there might be more microphones on this camera than previous cameras, or that could be another lanyard hole, or that could be where the button is and they've just kind of rejigged it, changed the shape a little bit. So these leaks are really making for an exciting new camera on the horizon from Insta360, and if they really have packed 4K with horizon leveling and everything into that really small camera unit, that's going to be very exciting. I would love to hear your thoughts to see if you've got a different interpretation from what we've seen so far. Now, I've been spending a lot of time looking into the videos to make sure I could get any sort of clues from them, and this is what I've come up with. But of course, it's not all confirmed, and I'm just going by some information provided by my source, as well as what I can kind of gather and decipher from the trailers they've already put out. But 100% it's the Go 3, and it does dock inside its own new body, which turns it into a sort of GoPro actiony camera with a screen that flips to face you if you want it to. So this camera is probably going to be quite a bit of a vlogger's dream, and it's going to be a camera that you can also just slip in your pocket and not think about, so very exciting. And if you want to stay tuned for any more leaks that might come out, then make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.